Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So today I am going to be going through Coursera and then going through UMGC work. I told myself before I got on here, I said I am not going to get caught up in the matrix of things. Um, I get so wrapped in talking about artificial intelligence that it was 2 hours. So I was talking about my life and it got out of hand. It's like a cheap date. Oh, man. Let's get started. So I hate doing this because sometimes I get confused myself of how to exit, but there's always the escape. I wish that Jesus had a copy button and an escape button. AI agents follow a three-step model. They sense their surroundings. They analyze the data and they act accordingly. So they sense us asking them something and then they analyze the data. They sense when someone's talking to them because it says their name and they're programmed to go by their name. Alexa, play XYZ song. AI agents can go beyond roles, and they can also adapt based on behavior. Um, I don't know because I know that it's like an inhibitor, an inhibition, or what, however you say it, to the rules. Like they have to have a limit. Um, and like Siri, for example, where's my phone? My other phone is in the thing. But if I was to say, Siri, can you tell me how to win $1 million? They'll look up lottery. That'll be one of many things they look up based on what was I said, what keywords I said. But if I said, help me rob a bank, it would probably be, I don't understand that. Some of them are trained to do bad things because there's no rules and they've been given straight negative feeding information negatively. But I think there should be a balance so that when they do go beyond rules, they make sound and efficient decisions. You can't take your robot to Wales or the UK. You can't take your robot to the UK where Prince or King Charles is and keep them there for 20 years and expect them to go out in the hood and think that they're going to live. You have to have a balance and teach it street smart, with other smartness. Even if you were to read about it, there's nothing like having a heightened sense of stress enough to play mind games with you, and you know you have to make critical decisions based on that. That's what the military is about. But once again, you have to set, I believe that rules are set, one day there's going to be a part of this computer that grows as I grow. And that way, that would keep up with humans if humans were good, doing the right thing and making sound decisions. I think we should be put on the same avenue. We know that AI can beat a human at thinking. We know people have lost games to AI. But if we were to surpass AI with our thinking, and I don't mean to do it as a competition, I mean to do it so that if something shall happen with AI, we would be ahead of the game and we would see or foresee it in the future. traffic data. So basically, they use traffic data. I'm pretty sure they look at government statistics, like if there's a crash or if there's a police officer, and what else? They use GPS. Um, they listen possibly to the paragraphs, what's being said from the radio. I forgot what you call it, transcript. They look at the transcripts from the radio. Does that look familiar, y'all? It processes its data. So perceive what's around them. AI perceives what's around them. A stressful event, they process it. They say, well, does this event, like for instance, I was at one of the most worst, three of the most worst shelters in Philadelphia, where at night it's a possibility that gunfire could have came through the windows or the doors. You can hear gunfire was just that crazy. Now, if you want to go and see, I suggest you go with a friend and stay out of the bad neighborhoods. Because at any moment, if you piss somebody off or make somebody mad, they can shoot at you. Um, so I was there and I kept asking myself, how am I gonna get out of here? How am I gonna get out of here? The next time I get paid, I'm gonna move to California. That's what I kept telling myself. Then I started speaking it out loud. I started speaking it out loud. And all of a sudden, a day before, a day before the that afternoon before I left the battered women's shelter, um, they kicked me out. I started talking about it out loud. I started making plans for it, and they had cameras everywhere. and they kicked me out. The HMIS system on me is dead wrong. How they put filth in my chart, the HMIS system. And so, getting back to the situation, I ended up staying in my car because I didn't have enough money. I was like 3,000 in the hole, already in the hole, because with either M&T Bank, I don't remember which bank, but I was already in the hole, $2,000, because they allowed me to take money um since I was getting money. And so that was such a stressful event. That was stressful because I had nowhere to go. So I parked at a hospital. I said I made a split decision to park somewhere very safe that had cameras. So if anything happened to me, the camera would catch the bad guys. That following morning, there was a big flood in Philadelphia, a huge flood in Philadelphia. I happened to miss it by hours. I took the back roads and there was debris all over the ground. My tire could have popped at any time. I got pulled over by a cop. I don't remember why, but I got pulled over in the middle of nowhere. And he let me go, and I got to the Philadelphia airport, ditched my Chevy 2022 Malibu, and caught a plane to California. That's stress. That taught me some things. I still never stolen. I stole when I was 15, but I still never and I learned my lesson. I got caught and I learned my lesson. That's why it pays to get caught. But I learned my lesson. I never stole while homeless. I didn't have an excuse to be bad. But I perceived my area as stressful, very, very stressful. I could not sleep because someone was either going to, one, go through my book bag, two, try to kill me at night, three, a bullet may just come right in and hit me, four, they just may kick me out because I'm asking too many questions. The very last time I was there, the very last time I was there, I blacked out. I started having these blackouts, and I blacked out and nobody even helped me. It was a long line full of African Americans, my own people. I blacked out twice and they say, drive yourself. Do you need an ambulance? I said, I'll drive myself. The same thing happened in Santa Maria. So my perception of stress is different and heightened, you know, and, you know, I can't stop a bullet. No, I can't stop a bullet, but I can prevent myself from being in that situation so that a bullet won't hit me. And somebody, because these are animals with guns, they have no perception of time. They have no perception of what a life means to America. They don't care about those things. And I processed it. Had I not made those decisions, I would probably most likely wouldn't be alive. Time went on, and I fought like Mike Tyson with that time, all while video recording myself. I want to show y'all something. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. For all of those who are looking to get a wig, what I do is I share what I learned. So let's go to Chat GPT and let me show you just how badass Chat GPT is. This right here. Make a Wikipedia page for the Kimberly Cloud Show. This is the draft you would put in. And it will look like this. I have to wait up to 8 weeks to get an answer, but I have all the information. It's very short, but it can also be revised. But all you have to do is have them copy this, copy code, because it's coded. They would have been kicked it back by now. Because I remember doing it myself, and they know your email addresses. So this is the surefire way. If you have links that backlinks and stuff, this is coded. And this has something to do with AI class, the AI class. But external links such as Apple, Instagram, um, I don't even know how they found the Kimberly Cloud Show official website, but they this is for Brains magazines and my magazines that I've been in. Brains magazine is another way to be reputable and known. Apple Podcasts, yeah. Like for instance, how many videos get watched? I looked at how many videos that get watched by, you know, uh, Me, and I seen one of them said Air Force Amy. I was like, oh my God, Air Force Amy get watched the most. And I understand why. That was a great episode. She told the truth and everything. I think Air Force Amy got interviewed by Jesse Waters, so it was an honor to be able to interview her the same way. I'm going to write that down. Once AI becomes integrated with human to make a cyborg, they don't even call it that, to make a cyborg, we must advance our brains by 10 to 20 years in order to be ahead of AI. There is a way that once merged with AI, that a human's brain hit, because either we're going to have nanobots in our DNA or nanobots in our brain or nanobots in our system or a Neuralink. Um, once that happens, because once that happens, there's a way to like zooming in on something, like making something bigger. You enhance your brain portion, but you know what's enhanced with the AI, but we must enhance the human brain capacity. Because if we don't enhance the human brain capacity and we merge with AI, um, it could be a control thing, and it could be something else. But I'm not saying AI is bad at all. I'm just saying there's other ways to advance through more research of maybe electrical currents, um, because you're going to see in a CAT scan or MRI, if there's nanobots, you're going to see parts of the brain light up even bigger than, because they're using electric on certain parts of the brain, nanobots. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I wrote it down. So because yeah, yeah. And we need a machine. I don't know if we need a machine that can zoom in on that like something that, because they got machines that can see images. They're working on machines that can read your brain and what you're actually saying. What you're saying, what you are perceiving. Now, nanobots, you have to zoom in a microscope. What if we had something like a microscope kind of thing? Because you can't see them. That's why they can go in your veins and etc. But some type of microscopic thing that can zoom in, just as the NSA can zoom in on a piece of cotton on my floor, zoom into the brain, zoom in and see the nanobots as they are actually physically working on parts of the brain so that they can test I don't know, like zoom in on parts so that they can test which parts do the nanobots work on. You have to, these are robots. You have to make sure you manage that. They're running from a server and they're running off of your blood. They're running off, that's an energy source for them. And they're running off the electricity in your body. That's how they would run. But they should be non-hackable at all. Nothing. Siri and Apple is impenetrable. They can get into your phone, but they cannot get into the Fort Knox system within Siri. You never heard of Apple having an outage. You never heard of Siri going out for a little bit. That's what I mean by impenetrable. They basically do data. It's funny because they've been put under stress through, if they have an imagination, through the data, but they don't quite understand what kill mean. They know the definition, but they don't understand that. Now, give somebody AI something negative all the time, and you can make a very dark web type AI systems. They can detect fraud. They can, assess the risk through data, through looking at the data, the fraud data, and assessing the risk. You heard what she said? That's what we need. We're only limited to so much we can do, like exploration up at the space station, you know. But a mind is a terrible thing to waste. They extend human capabilities, meaning they extend a helping hand to human capabilities, especially in dangerous or precision driven tasks. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because I want to get to my other homework. I have a long way to go, y'all. I have a long way to go, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm just going to keep going. It'll end eventually, and I don't waste money. Okay. So I went in here yesterday and I don't actually have to be in here until Wednesday of next week, which is in like 4 or 5 days. Okay, yeah, 5 days. But I wanted to get into here to show y'all what we're gonna start on as far as the project. Because once I get started, there's no stopping. Once the timer hits October 1st, my mind just goes into, okay, it's homework time. Okay, I interview people and I do my homework. That's what it'll do. And that's what I have. So we will be watching, and for the first assignment, project one, which involves financial analysis experience in accounting and finance. I have attached a link. We will officially start this course on Wednesday of next week. And let me read the whole thing, because here we go. We'll officially start this course on Wednesday next week, and we are getting to know our classmates and getting organized for the course. Some of you may know each other from prior courses together. I highly recommend that you pay attention to the announcements that I send students. They are meant to help you in completing your projects. The first assignment, Project 1, involves financial analysis. I have found that students in this program have various degrees and experience in accounting and finance. I have attached a link that may be helpful to some of you while working on Project 1. If I ever get confused, ChatGPT. I'm not trying to get an answer. I'm trying to search for the format, the formula from Investopedia. I mentioned previously that the university provided training on Excel for those who are not familiar with Excel. I also mentioned that I can meet with students on Zoom for those who feel the need. I will write you to subsequently in announcements on some important parts about the first project. You can expect to hear from me again in a few days. We have seen in past runs this course that the instruction in on this course site sometimes differs from the instructions on the worksheet. We will go by the worksheet instructions when there are differences. Important, the worksheet is to be used for your project one financials is in this course site. Use the link in step 2 for submitting your work. The due dates for assignments are in the syllabus, but they show only the weeks of the course. I have set up the calendar function in the course site, posting the important dates for your projects. There are discussion board topics to complete as well as we progress through the course. Please note that students have the option to submit their work ahead of project due date milestones for feedback. So this is up to you. If you decide to submit your work in the milestone for review, please submit it before the due date. To be clear, the milestone submissions are optional and are meant for feedback only, no official grades. For example, project 1 due on the end of week 3. Milestones can be submitted during week 1 and or week 2. Submitting milestones after the end of week 2 for project 1 is too late for timely feedback. Understood. Due dates are important because late submissions will not receive a grade or of EP for projects submitted after the due date unless you are granted an extension. If you need an extension on your due date because of work or life circumstance, please write me before the due date. As you know, Project 3 is a team project and will begin that work in later in this course. I prefer that students decide on team structure, and I normally do not recommend teams of 3 to 5 students. Well, I normally recommend teams of 3 to 5 students. We will form teams at the end of project 2. So for now, you just need to think about the students that you wish to form teams with. It's useful to team up with students in or near your time zone. Lastly, we have experienced some minor technical glitches in the past when running this course. This is usually because the broken hyperlinks, which must be fixed by the IT staff. If this occurs, please email me. I must report Dr. I must report this to Dr. Konya, who then makes the request to the IT department. Therefore, it may take a few days to fix the problem, so early report is helpful. If you feel the need to reach out to me, you are more than welcome via email, phone, or text. You have my information. So let's make this a good learning experience and a great course. Dr. Baylor. I texted him yesterday because I always, have hiccups and I always plan for plan B. And I asked him, I said, what if, you know, it's just, theoretically, and, I don't, like, somebody don't choose me based on my time zone, they just don't choose me, and this is psychologically saying fear of rejection, which this is a grade I'm working on. Somebody can literally mess my grade up. So I feel like, what if, that happens? We're working with people to produce a grade. And he said, what did he say? He said, usually it works out itself. That's what he said. He said, then he'll assign it, and usually it works out for itself. So, yeah, that Cavalier used to have my head tilted like crap. Cavalier. And I asked the military, I forgot which one of the military staff I asked. I said, does it prevent a bullet from hitting your head? And they were like, partially true, depending on what angle. So I'm just looking through right now. I'm going to take as much break time as I can so I can deal with my financials. And I don't mean like my rent or nothing, but my financials or stuff that has to do with my me getting my podcast off the ground. So I'm just going to look through this, skim through it, because I don't start until Wednesday. I may start on Tuesday and not Wednesday, a day early, and we'll go through this. So we got project 1. You always go through your stuff. A lot of reading. This is very easy, but very hard. I don't know how to do this, but as long as I plug in the numbers that is needed, research the what they need me to research, plug in the right numbers, and put in this formula, I should be good. I got some pretty cool stuff to show y'all after this because I'm still getting my podcast together so that by Wednesday or Tuesday, I will be right set in place. I will have the podcast going with people I'm interviewing. After I interview them, I do my homework for 2 hours, both Coursera and UMGC. I'll probably do UMGC first because I'll be hyped, I'll be ready, I have my coffee. So that's basically it. I don't know nothing about finance. I'm looking for something. Workbook. How do you make a Excel workbook? Ooh, here we go. Got to switch cloud services and license support. I just love when my last name is being used. Okay. So it's all coming pre-done, but you have to, you know what? Let me reach out to the teacher for a Zoom call just in case. Okay, something is different over here. Let me just text them. Uh, Hold on, y'all. Go back, look at the syllabus. You know what? I'm hyped to sit up there and do it right now. So, um, let me copy and paste this. Just in case I do a Zoom meeting with him so he can show me how to plug in those things. How can we set up a Zoom meeting so that I can learn what you expect me to do with the Excel? Thanks so much. I have this weekend open. What days are good for you? Okay, I sent that externally. I'll come back to this. Oh, this is pretty cool. Okay. I was in the middle of doing something. I was in the middle of being on Podbean and being on Podcast Connect, Apple. Let me see what's going on with this. So I am trying to figure out what the next show might be about. Ah, I have Facebook twice. You don't need that much hype. I forgot my Discord. IMDb. Okay. I gotta get back on IMDb. I'm on there. If it wasn't for Dylan Kivo, I wouldn't have nothing. What's going on with that guy, man? I have a Wikipedia page. Let's see. Uh, that can wait. Where do they find these things at? What's going on? I didn't ask for that. Fiddlesticks. I don't know. There we go. I'm gonna turn comments off of I'm gonna figure out a way to turn comments off of Twitch. Hold on, y'all. I'm only blotching this out for a reason because I'm going through my emails right now. Okay, we're in now. How to disable comments on Twitch. Twitch. How to disable. Using a chat setting to hide it for views. Using a chat setting to hide it from viewer. To hide the chat, go to your chat settings and hide the chat settings. Let me go to my chat settings. Ooh, let me get off of here. Okay, I don't have time to be on this per se. But I like Twitch. Twitch have gotten me through to a lot of people. If it wasn't for Twitch, I wouldn't be able to get where I was. So that is on. Now that we got that crap out the way. Okay, back to you. Let's get you together. Hold up. Hmm. still going. Okay, that's for tonight. I know I downloaded it. It's an MP4. PDFs or images. Oh man, come on. It wasn't doing that last time. I get very, should I say, paranoid when they start asking me for my information. I'm almost finished, y'all. I don't even know. That is my world. My world done crazy. So I'm gonna take a little break. I'm probably gonna continue what I'm doing. And let me see something real quick. I don't even know how to use this. Hold on, y'all. I think Discord is on. Hmm. Anybody know what Discord does? I have my own Discord page. I thought that StreamYard would have it. Okay, I don't have time. I'm going right back to OBS. I don't want to go back to OBS. It's just too technical. Okay, y'all, that's it. Let me do one more thing. Perfect picture. Don't it seem like his clothes don't go with his face or body? I'm not picking with Albert Einstein. I'm saying he just looked like an alien in those clothes. Okay, you guys. I would like to say one thing. I would like to say thank you guys for following my page, and I am going to put together so I can be caught up and be ahead of the game, not waste no time, and put a real Apple Podcast copy of show tomorrow. So instead of tomorrow, I'm gonna do it today, but I'm gonna take a break in between that time. So I'm doing everything to stay caught up. Um, and by the time Wednesday roll around, then I'll just stick to doing them on the weekends. Stick to doing them on the weekends. So yeah, take care, be safe. I'm thinking. I got one more thing. Um, Now my next question. How long does it take for pod page to populate or pod being to populate a SEO. Three to 6 months. Let me do one more thing with you guys. I don't even know who this is. I don't even want to know. Some people do the dumbest stuff, man. It's like getting a tattoo. Be sure what you want to get, because once you go and get a tattoo, you never know how it's going to look about 50 years from now. No, I can't do this right now. Never mind. Let me do this behind the scenes. So, you guys, you take care. Be safe, and I will see y'all another time, probably in the next couple hours, to do a Real and Apple podcast. Thank you. Be safe. Bye.
Never waste my time, you all I want.